on Chronicle.
There are two ways for kids to study history. They can memorize facts from textbooks, or they can do it the fun way.
The fun way, yes. They can visit a living history museum where the past and the present collide in a big way.
Yeah, this is the fort at number 4 in Charlestown on the shores of the Connecticut River. It's a historically correct recreation of the fortified village that stood here during the early 1700s.
We'll have lots about Fort at number 4 all week, including, of course, an explanation of the number 4 part, which I'm really wondering about. We'll find out. But first...
Yeah, spring is finally here, though it doesn't feel like it today. But that means, among other things, watching the flowers pop up and the birds return. But undeniably, one of the clearest signs of spring is that sound we all love, and that is the crack of the baseball bat.
If you're not a huge fan of the game, I bet you probably live with one. It's a sport that catches on in families, but there probably aren't many whose passion for the game who can rival the Whites of Hampton.
Yeah, they've played baseball for generations, and now you might say they are hitting one out of the park, or at least their wooden bats are.
Join Jennifer Crompton as she takes a swing with tuck bats.
Terry and his son Grafton are carrying on a tradition. Tuck Field in Hampton is where 4 generations of Whites have shared the game they love.
My father used to take me, and he would sit down and he'd show me all the aspects of hitting a baseball, throwing a baseball, how to hold pitches. I can remember he switched the rattle in my hand to my left hand so I'd bat left-handed, because left-handed batters have such an advantage. I was named after Bill Terry, who played for the Giants back like in the 20s, 30s.
Passion for baseball runs deep in this family.
I love baseball. I remember growing up, as a kid, and I would grab my baseball glove and I'd go to sleep with it. You know, some people went with a teddy bear. I love that smell of the leather.
His full name is Terry Tuck White. Tuck was his grandfather's nickname because he spent so much time at the field. Tuck White captained the UNH baseball team in the early 30s, was drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals, went to spring training in Florida, and spent 2 years in the minor leagues.
One of the biggest pitchers during the time was Dizzy Dean, and I have the picture up there of Dizzy showing my grandfather Tuck the tricks.
Tuck's son was a pitcher and captain at New Hampton Prep, invited to play at Harvard, ending up at Dartmouth.
He never got a chance to play with them because the Boston Braves at the time basically called him to come down to spring training, so he made the decision to go pro.
After 2 years of traveling in the minors, he opted to return home to Hampton with his new wife, where they raised 3 children while he taught math and was a football and baseball coach at Winnacunnet. Sons Terry and Chuck played for him.
That's me.
It was his search for a wooden bat like the Joe Rudy 35 he used in high school to use in a senior New England league they play in now that has inspired a new legacy in the White family. In fact, you won't find Grafton hitting with the composite metal bats he used at Winnacunnet. He swings a wooden tuck bat.
You can just tell when you hit the ball on the money.
His cousin Casey, yes, as in Casey at the bat, is a standout hitter in college. He's made the switch too, not just because safety rules are reigning in metal bats, but because the tuck bat hits home.
They call my dad Batman.
Indeed, when Terry White couldn't find the right bats for his senior league, he decided to make them and name them after his grandfather. He's been perfecting the process in his spare time for 5 years, and he's having a ball.
I really think my grandfather's smiling down on me because every time I've made a bat, when I was first doing it in our league, I'd make the bat, give it to him the first time up to get a hit. This is I'm up to get a hit. This is my most popular bat right here. And the reason everybody likes it is this flared handle. This is an ash bat, and this is a maple bat. And
the maple looks a lot smaller.
yeah. If you look at the barrel, it's a lot smaller. Because maple's denser, you want to have a smaller bat, because if it's too big, it's going to be too heavy, and you're not going to be able to get the barrel through the strike zone.
Oh, yeah.
And if you look at the ash, you can see that there's a lot bigger sweet spot right here You can get away with that with ash because ash is a little lighter.
And the end is hollow, is that?
Yeah, those are cupping, okay? As a matter of fact, cupping is something that's is relatively new, okay? When I say relatively new, is that when my dad was playing, they didn't have it. And I was reading an article, Ted Williams said if they had the cup backs back when he was playing, he definitely would have used one.
He starts with wooden billets, ash, maple, and birch the most popular. He marks the center and puts it on his lathe, where it's all done by feel.
Making the bats is my relaxed time. I sit down and it takes about an hour to make that bat, and a lot of it is just cutting away the wood, okay? But it's, you know, to me it's like peaceful, you know, you're not thinking of anything else, you just got the thing spinning and you're just trying to shape the bat. This is where I set the bats out after I put a coat of varnish on them, okay? What I do is I basically hang them from the roof, that way I can cover both ends of them at the same time.
He does lots of custom work, even softball bats. But before the final coat, he adds his label. He customizes those, too.
These are all set. As a matter of fact, it's the final coat. What I'll do now is just give it a little light sanding and wax it.
So if Big Pappy called you and said, I want a bat, no, I want 20 bats.
If he called and wanted 20 bats, I'd be calling all my friends going, guess what? And then I'd start working hard.
It's just something very special to our family. It's just, you know, it's America's pastime, it's also our pastime.
Coming up later, thought you'd